Hey friends, Professor Sex here for Tickle.life, and this is Back to Basics, the sex ed show where we break up myths and build up facts about identity. Today's show, what's the difference between sex and gender? Sex is biological and anatomical, meaning it's about your body. Gender is psychological and social, meaning it's about your brain and the way you move through the world around you. Let's start by talking about sex. To be clear, this time when I say sex, I mean biology and not behavior. There are four main physiological components that make up a person's biological sex. Chromosomes, XX or XY or other variations. Hormones, like estrogen and testosterone. Genitalia and other reproductive organs, so penis, testes, vulva, ovaries. And secondary sex characteristics, like enlarged breasts and Adam's apple, the things that happen to our bodies during puberty. These four elements can combine in lots of ways that make us each who we are as individual people. We usually expect certain combinations that look something like this. If a person's biological makeup aligns into one of these two buckets, that's called endosex. An endosex person has innate physical characteristics that match what's expected for male or female bodies. If, however, these components align in some other amazing way, because the combinations are practically endless, those variations are called intersex. An intersex person has innate physical characteristics that are different from what's expected for male or female bodies. Because of these variations, and for many other reasons, it's impossible to tell someone's gender just by looking at their genitals. That doesn't seem to stop us, though. In fact, our genital anatomy is the part of our body that quite possibly has the largest social impact on us. Often when a baby is born, someone looks at their genitals and announces, it's a boy or it's a girl. When we do this, we're making a guess about that tiny person's gender and their sex based solely on their genitals. Because we aren't using any other information to make this guess, we call this a person's sex and gender assigned at birth. Sometimes that guess is right, and sometimes it's wrong. An assignment is made based on what's visible, and as that person grows and develops, their body and their mind may or may not match that assignment. So, what is gender? Gender is psychological and social. We sometimes say that sex is what's between your legs, and gender is what's between your ears and in your heart. Sex is what your body looks like, and gender is how you feel about yourself and who you know you are as a person. Your internal sense of your gender is called your gender identity. The way you dress and act and how others perceive you based on that is called your gender expression. If a person's internal sense of who they are matches their gender assigned at birth, that person is cisgender. Cis just means same. If a person's internal sense of who they are is different from their gender assigned at birth, that person is transgender. Trans means beyond or on the other side of. Not all trans folks use the term transgender to talk about their identity. Other terms you might hear are non-binary, genderqueer, or gender fluid. We'll devote another episode to gender so we can dive in a little deeper on those concepts. So now you know the difference between sex and gender. They inform each other, but they aren't the same things. Both are such a vast spectrum with potentially limitless variations, which is why everyone on this earth is so beautifully and wonderfully different from one another. That was this episode of Back to Basics. For more from Tickle, head to tickle.life, and for more from me, head to professorsex.com.